Hey everyone, and welcome to today's deep dive.
Yeah, welcome.
We're Henry and Sarah,
Back at it again.
sharing all the unfiltered insights and lessons and laughs, honestly, from our startup journey
To help you guys
to help you build, grow, and thrive.
thrive as entrepreneurs.
And honestly, building a startup is,
It's a wild ride.
yeah,
It's a wild ride. There's going to be
there are.
exhilarating highs, gut-wrenching lows,
Yeah.
moments of pure genius, and times where you just want to
Fixed plant.
faceplant into your keyboard.
Too real.
Too real.
But you know what makes all the difference?
What's that?
Having the right co-founder
Right.
by your side, someone who gets you, challenges you,
Pushy.
pushes you to be your best, someone who celebrates those wins with you and helps you dust yourself off after
An inevitable setback.
the inevitable setbacks.
It's true. Choosing a co-founder is one of the most important decisions you'll make
Honestly,
on your entrepreneurial journey.
yeah.
It's like finding your business soulmate. Someone who shares your vision, but also brings something different to the table. Someone who complements your strengths and fills those crucial gaps in your skill set.
Okay. Soulmate might be pushing it,
Okay.
but I get your point.
Yeah.
It's a huge decision.
Huge.
And unfortunately, one that a lot of entrepreneurs
Get wrong.
get wrong.
No.
You know, it's kind of shocking, but disagreements
Yeah.
between co-founders are actually one of the leading causes
I've heard that.
of startup failure.
It's true.
We've seen it firsthand.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not pretty.
It is not pretty. And those
Yeah.
disagreements often stem from a lack of clarity about roles, expectations, and values.
That's why it's so crucial to have those potentially uncomfortable conversations up front.
Up front, before you even think about signing any papers
Yeah.
or launching your business.
Absolutely. And that brings us to one of the biggest myths out there
Okay.
about finding a co-founder,
What's that?
that it has to be your best friend.
Oh, really?
You know that person you've known forever
Oh, yeah.
and already have a ton of trust with.
While there's definitely something to be said for having a strong foundation of trust, friendship shouldn't be the driving force behind your decision.
Okay.
I mean, think about it. Would you choose your dentist based solely on the fact that they're your best friend?
Hopefully not.
Yeah, hopefully not. You'd want someone who's actually qualified.
Yeah.
Someone with the skills and experience to take care of your teeth.
Right.
Exactly.
Makes sense.
And it's the same with your co-founder. You need to think strategically
Okay.
about what your business needs to succeed.
Go ahead.
What are your strengths? Where are the gaps?
Uh-huh.
And who can fill those gaps with their own unique talents and expertise?
Okay, so you're saying start with a skills assessment,
Yeah.
not a friend list.
Not a friend list.
Makes sense. But let's be real. Sometimes those lines get blurry.
They do.
What about those situations where you have a friend
Mm-hmm.
who actually does possess those skills and experience?
Oh, yeah.
that you
Yeah. That's when things get interesting and potentially more challenging.
Interesting.
Because now you have to balance the benefits of friendship, that existing trust and rapport,
Yeah.
with the potential risks of mixing business and personal relationships.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like walking a tightrope.
It is.
You need to be extra careful to set clear boundaries,
Yes.
establish expectations, and make sure you're both on the same page
Mm-hmm.
about how you'll handle disagreements,
Yeah.
equity splits,
Yeah.
and all those other tricky issues that can arise when you're
Right.
building a business together.
So how do you actually navigate this co-founder search?
Yeah.
Whether you're looking within your existing network or venturing out to meet new people, I think it's helpful to think about it in terms of those 3 C's we
Okay.
mentioned earlier.
Plug this.
Commitment, competency, and character.
Break it down for us.
Okay.
What exactly do you mean by the 3 C's?
Well, first up is commitment. Is this potential co-founder truly all in on the vision? Are they as passionate about solving this problem as you are? Because starting a business is a marathon, not a sprint.
Okay.
You need someone who's in it for the long haul, who's
Yeah.
willing to weather the storms and celebrate the victories with you.
Side by side.
So as I said.
Makes sense. Passion, commitment
Yeah.
are definitely non-negotiables.
sure.
Okay, what about competency?
This is where those skills and experience come into play.
Yep.
Does this person have the technical chops, the marketing savvy, the financial acumen, whatever it is that your business needs to thrive? And just as importantly, are
Yeah.
they a continuous learner, someone who's always looking to grow and expand their knowledge?
Right, because the startup world is constantly evolving.
Always changing.
You need a co-founder who can adapt,
Right.
learn new things,
Adapt.
and pivot when necessary.
Right.
Okay, so we've got commitment and competency covered. What about the third C character?
This one is all about integrity values
Mhm.
and how someone shows up in the world. Do they treat others with respect? Do they operate with honesty and transparency? Are they reliable, accountable, and supportive?
Yeah.
Because let's face it, you're going to be spending a lot of time with this person.
A lot.
You need someone you can trust, someone who aligns with your values, and someone who will have your back when the going gets tough.
So true.
It's true.
And finding someone who embodies all three C's.
Yeah.
Commitment, competency, and character.
That's the trifecta.
That's like finding the holy grail of co-founders.
It is. It is.
But where do you actually start your search? I mean, it's not like there's a co-founder dating app where you can swipe right on your perfect match.
Well, there are platforms like Co-Founders Lab and AngelList
Yeah.
that can help you connect with potential co-founders.
Okay.
But don't underestimate the power of your existing network. Talk to your friends, colleagues, mentors, and former classmates.
Yeah.
Let people know what you're working on
Okay.
and what kind of co-founder you're looking for. You never know who might be the perfect fit
Yeah.
or who might know someone who is.
Okay, so you've put yourself out there.
Yeah.
You've connected with some promising individuals.
Right.
And you've got a few potential candidates who seem like they might check
Check those boxes.
those three C boxes.
Yeah.
What's next? You just jump right into business together.
Hold your horses.
Okay.
Before you even think about making things official, you need to have some seriously open and honest conversations.
Okay.
And I mean, really digging deep.
Digging deep into what exactly?
Well, first and foremost, your vision for the startup.
Okay.
This goes beyond just the product or service you're offering.
Yeah.
It's about the problem you're solving, the impact you want to make, and the values that will guide your company's culture. Do you both share the same passion for this vision?
Yeah.
Are you aligned on the long-term goals and the direction you want the business to take?
Okay.
If there are fundamental differences in your vision from the get-go,
Yeah.
that's a huge red flag. Remember, you're essentially embarking on a journey together.
Yeah.
You need to make sure you're both headed in the same direction.
Makes sense.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've talked about the importance of aligning on your vision for the startup,
Right.
but it's also crucial to make sure your work styles and values are compatible.
Absolutely. You're going to be spending a lot of time with this person, making big decisions under pressure. So you need to get a sense of how they operate on a day-to-day basis.
Totally. It's like figuring out if you can actually live with this person, in a business sense. How do they handle stress? Are they good communicators?
Yeah.
What's their approach to problem solving? Are they the type who thrives in chaos? Or do they need things to be super organized?
And don't forget about values.
Oh, wow.
How important is work-life balance to them? What about social impact? Do they have a strong ethical compass?
Yeah.
These might seem like touchy-feely things, but they can have a huge impact on your working relationship down the line.
Okay, so we've covered vision, work style, and values. Anything else we should be digging deep into during those early conversations?
One more big one, and this is something that's often overlooked. How do they handle conflict?
Oh,
Because let's be real, disagreements are inevitable in any partnership,
right.
especially when you're building a business together.
You're basically going to be married to this person in a business sense,
You are.
and no marriage is without its arguments.
Exactly. So you want to know, are they able to have healthy disagreements? Can they listen to opposing viewpoints without getting defensive?
Right.
Are they solution-oriented? Or do they tend to shut down or get aggressive when things get tough?
It's so true. Observing how someone handles conflict can be incredibly revealing. It can tell you a lot about their emotional maturity and their ability to navigate challenging situations.
Absolutely. And remember, building a startup is like riding a roller coaster.
Yeah.
There are going to be ups and downs, twists and turns.
For sure.
You need a co-founder who can handle the ride, who can stay calm under pressure, and who can work through challenges constructively.
Okay, so let's say you've had all these deep conversations. You've assessed their commitment, competency, and character,
Right.
and you're feeling pretty good about this potential co-founder partnership. What's the next step? Do you just dive right in and make it official?
Not so fast. I'm a big believer in the try before you buy approach, especially when it comes to something as important as a co-founder relationship.
I like where this is going. Tell me more.
Before you make any formal commitments, find a way to collaborate on a smaller project or even just a piece of your startup idea.
Okay.
It could be anything, building a basic prototype, conducting market research, or even just co-writing a business plan.
So it's like a trial run for your co-founder relationship.
Exactly. This trial period gives you a chance to see how you actually work together in a real-world setting. You can observe each other's strengths and weaknesses, how you communicate, and how you handle disagreements when the pressure's on.
This is such great advice, and it makes so much sense. We actually did something similar
Oh, yeah.
before we officially partnered up.
Cool.
We collaborated on a side project just to see how we work together,
Smart.
and it was so valuable.
I think a lot of entrepreneurs skip this step because they're so eager to get their business off the ground.
Yeah,
But trust me, it's worth taking the time to test the waters before you fully commit.
for sure.
It's much better to uncover any potential red flags early on,
Yeah.
rather than jumping headfirst into a formal partnership that could implode down the line.
Okay, so you've done your due diligence, you've had the tough conversations, you've
Yeah.
tested the waters with a trial project,
Right.
and you're both feeling confident about taking the plunge. Now what?
Well, now comes the legal stuff.
Okay.
And trust me, this part is crucial,
Uh-huh.
even if it feels a little less exciting than brainstorming your next big marketing campaign.
Okay, the legal stuff, I have a feeling I know where this is going.
Okay.
We need to talk about contracts, right?
You got it, specifically a founder's agreement. I know it might seem formal
Yeah.
or even a little awkward, especially if you're working with a close friend.
Right.
But trust me, putting everything in writing is essential for protecting both the business and the relationships involved.
Right, because as much as we all want to believe that everything will be sunshine and roses, it's important to be prepared for the what-ifs.
Exactly. A founder's agreement lays out all the important details of your partnership in black and white. It covers things like roles and responsibilities, equity splits,
Yeah.
decision-making processes, and crucially, what happens if one of you decides to leave the company?
So it's basically a prenup for your business relationship.
That's a great analogy.
Okay.
A prenup for your business marriage.
I like it.
It might not be the most romantic document,
Yeah.
but it can save you a lot of heartache and legal headaches down the road.
Okay, so walk us through it. What are the key elements that absolutely need to be included in a founder's agreement?
Well, first and foremost, you need to clearly define each person's role and responsibilities in the company.
Okay.
This should go beyond just job titles.
Okay.
You want to be very specific about who is responsible for what, so there's no confusion or overlap.
Right, because even if you've had those initial conversations about roles, it's important to formalize everything in writing.
Exactly. And speaking of formalizing things, the next big one is equity splits.
Okay.
How much ownership will each founder have in the company?
Hmm.
This needs to be spelled out in detail, taking into account factors like initial investment time commitment and the value each person brings to the table.
And this can be a really sensitive topic, right?
It can be.
Especially if you're starting a business with friends or family members.
It can be. But it's so important to get it right up front.
Yeah.
Remember, equity represents ownership and potential future profits.
Right.
So you need to make sure everyone feels like the agreement is fair and reflects their contributions.
Makes sense. So what else needs to be covered in this all-important founders agreement?
You also need to outline the decision-making process for the company. How will big decisions be made?
Yeah.
Will it be by majority vote?
Okay.
Or will one founder have the final say? You need to establish a clear framework for resolving disagreements so they don't turn into major power struggles down the road.
Okay, so you've covered roles, equity, and decision-making.
Yeah.
Anything else?
One more crucial element, an exit strategy.
Okay.
What happens if one of the founders wants to leave the company? Or if the business is acquired or goes public? You need to have a plan in place for how those situations will be handled, including how the equity will be divided and how any outstanding debts or obligations will be settled.
So it's not just about planning for success, it's also about planning for the unexpected.
It is.
The good, the bad, and the messy.
Exactly. A good founder's agreement is like a roadmap for your business partnership.
Yep.
It helps you navigate the inevitable ups and downs of entrepreneurship and protects everyone involved.
Right.
And trust me, it's much easier to have these conversations up front than to try to sort things out when emotions are running high.
Yeah.
And the stakes are even higher.
This is all such great advice.
Yeah.
It really highlights how important it is to approach the co-founder search with the same level of thoughtfulness and intentionality that you would apply to any other major business decision.
Absolutely. Finding the right co-founder is not something to be taken lightly.
Right.
It's an investment in your company's future and in your own sanity.
Well said. And on that note, I think it's time to wrap up Part 2 of our deep dive into finding the perfect co-founder.
But don't go anywhere just yet. In part 3, we'll be sharing some of our own personal experiences, the mistakes we've made, and the lessons we've learned along the way. So stay tuned for more insights, more laughs, and more real talk about the wild ride of entrepreneurship.
Welcome back to the Deep Dive. We're wrapping up our 3-part series on finding the perfect co-founder.
And in this final part, we want to get a little more personal, and
Yeah.
share some of the lessons we've learned along the way, both from our own experience and from observing, other successful co-founder pairs.
Because let's be real, as much as we love
Yeah.
sharing frameworks and advice, sometimes the best way to learn is through stories, through those real-world examples of what works and what definitely doesn't.
So true. And one of the biggest lessons we've learned
What's that?
is that finding the perfect co-founder isn't just about skills and experience. It's about finding someone who you genuinely enjoy spending time with.
Okay.
Someone who shares your sense of humor and who can make you laugh even when you want to cry.
Okay, starting a business is hard work.
It is.
It's all-consuming, it's stressful, and it's often a roller coaster of emotions.
It's true.
If you don't have a co-founder who you can have fun with, who you can celebrate the wins with,
Right.
and who can help you see the lighter side of things when everything feels like it's falling apart, well, let's just say it's going to be a much tougher journey.
Absolutely. And, another key ingredient that we found to be incredibly important is a shared growth mindset. You want a co-founder who's not afraid to challenge you, who pushes you to think outside the box, and who's always looking for ways to learn and improve.
Yes. It's about finding someone who inspires you to be your best self, both personally and professionally. Someone who you can bounce ideas off of,
Right.
who you can brainstorm with, and who you can learn from.
And speaking of learning from each other,
Yeah.
one of the things that's really helped us is having clearly defined roles and responsibilities.
Okay.
We each have our own areas of expertise, and we trust each other to make decisions within those areas.
That division of labor is so crucial because it prevents those unnecessary conflicts and power struggles
Yeah.
that can arise when roles are blurry or undefined. We learned that one the hard way early on in our partnership.
Oh, tell me about it. And I remember that time when we were both trying to manage the company's finances at the same time.
Oh, yeah.
It was a recipe for disaster.
Oh, yeah. Good times. Good times. But hey, it was a valuable lesson learned.
It was.
We quickly realized that we needed to establish clear boundaries
Yeah.
and respect each other's areas of expertise.
And another lesson we learned sometimes the hard way
What's that?
is the importance of celebrating
Oh, yeah.
those small wins along the way.
Yes.
It's so easy to get caught up in the hustle and the pressure to achieve those big milestones that we forget to acknowledge and appreciate the progress we're making.
So true. We've made it a ritual to celebrate even the smallest victories,
Nice.
whether it's closing a new deal, launching a new feature, or simply making it through a particularly challenging week.
Yeah.
It helps to keep us motivated
Right.
and reminds us why we're doing this in the first place.
And those celebrations don't have to be anything fancy.
No,
It could be something as simple as grabbing a coffee together, going for a walk,
totally.
or just taking a few minutes to acknowledge each other's hard work and dedication.
Those small moments of connection and appreciation can make a world of difference, especially when you're in the trenches of building a startup.
And, at the end of the day, finding the perfect co-founder is a lot like finding any other meaningful relationship.
Yeah.
It takes time, effort, and a willingness to be vulnerable and authentic.
It's about finding someone who you trust, who you respect, and who you genuinely enjoy spending time with.
Yeah.
Someone who shares your vision but also challenges you to grow, and someone who will be there for you through thick and thin.
So to all the entrepreneurs out there who are on the hunt for their perfect co-founder,
Yeah.
don't give up. Keep those 3 C's in mind: commitment, competency, and character. And remember to trust your gut.
Yeah.
If something doesn't feel right, it probably isn't.
And most importantly, don't be afraid to have fun along the way.
Yeah, have fun.
Building a startup should be an adventure, a journey filled with challenges and triumphs, laughter and tears, and having the right co-founder by your side can make all the difference.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Thanks for joining us on the Deep Dive.
Yeah, thanks for listening.
We hope this series has given you some valuable insights and inspiration as you navigate the exciting world of entrepreneurship.
For sure.
And remember, the journey is always better together. We'll catch you next time.
See ya!